Unlike the character in the Dr. Seuss book, Green Eggs and Ham, I do like green eggs and ham. Today, I'm gonna show you a green eggs and ham recipe that's using wholesome ingredients like spinach, like real ham, and cheese. So the first thing that you want to do is wash some spinach. I've got about 2 cups of spinach here. Just make sure there's plenty of water around it and swish it around as many times as you need to. Once it's nice and clean and there's no grit left in the bottom of the bowl, just lift it out of the water, shake off some of the water, most of the water, but not all of it, because the water that's left on the leaves is what's going to help you cook your spinach. This is extra sharp cheddar, 2 tablespoons approx. I don't know, I might use a little bit more. We'll see. I'm a bit of a cheesehead. I don't mean that I'm from Wisconsin, I just mean I really, really love cheese. To a fault, my doctor, not so happy about that. Okay, that's a little bit more than 2 tablespoons, but I can live with that. All right, to the stove. The first thing that you need to do, cook your spinach. So just heat a pan and then put your slightly wet spinach right into the pan to wilt. If you had really super dry spinach, you could put a little bit of water in the pan. Same thing. I will not eat green eggs and ham. I will not eat them, Sam, I am. No one's ever gonna say that to you again if you make these green eggs and ham. Well, in the end, he does end up liking them, doesn't he? You know, I think that the character in Green Eggs and Ham was probably a 2-year-old. What do you think? Patience, patience, patience. If you covered it, it would take a lot less time, but I want you to see the process. I want you to see it wilting down. There we go. It's wilted. But as you can see, there's still a little bit of water in there, so I'm going to squeeze that water out. I'm going to do that in a colander, because in this recipe, the spinach is actually going inside the eggs, not inside the omelet. So that's what makes it green. It's kind of incredible how much water is in spinach. One last squeeze. See how there's still water coming out of it? It's crazy. You start with 2 cups of spinach and you end up with, like, I don't know, 2 tablespoons. Okay. Now I can cut it up. Chop it really nice and fine. Make sure it's super duper duper dry, otherwise your eggs are gonna be icky and watery and gross. So don't say I didn't warn you. Is that mean? I didn't mean to be mean. Sometimes people tell me that my sense of humor is mean. I just think it's funny. That's not what my mother says. And then whisk together your eggs, and 2 eggs. Kind of skimpy. I'm just kidding. 2 eggs plus all that spinach. Nice and healthy, that's what I meant. Whiskey, whiskey, whiskey. Salt and pepper. Don't forget salt and pepper. Not too much though. You're only serving 1. This is for 1. You could multiply it up if you want to. All right, spinach goes in. Just whisk it together, and then you're good to start cooking. So add a couple teaspoons of butter. Don't overdo it, because it's just for 1 person. I'm butter. I'm delicious. Don't use too much of me or you'll die. Just melt your 2 teaspoons of butter in your pan, maybe a medium-high heat. If your pan's too hot, your eggs will get brown, which I really don't like. Once your butter's melted, time to start cooking your eggs. Spread it around in your pan and start swirling them around really immediately, because it doesn't run around that much because the spinach sort of holds it together. So move the eggs around with a rubber spatula. Normally, I would say lift it up and let the eggs run underneath, but you see how that's not really doing anything? That's because of all the spinach. So I'm just sort of gently moving it around, cooking it on a kind of medium heat, and just letting it set. It's thicker than I imagined it was going to be because of all that spinach, but that's what makes it so great. I think that it's looking really good. Nice and set, but not brown at all. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And it's set on top too. You can see that it's just slightly moist, but not runny, right? Time for the cheese and the ham. Add your cheese. Couple tablespoons. I think I overdid it with the cheese. It is only 1 serving after all. And then the ham, and then let it sit just for a couple minutes so the cheese melts and gets all oozy. Fold it over. The ultimate green eggs and hams. Nice and healthy. Yes, there's a tiny bit of golden on there, but that's okay. It's not your average omelet, that's for sure. I don't like average. I like excellent. And you like excellent. That's why you're watching these videos, because I'm so excellent. Grab yourself a plate, slide it out. Looks fantastic and healthy. Green eggs and ham. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I think it's a wise choice. I do. I will eat them on a boat. I will eat them on a float.